Hello and good evening. You are watching The Situation Room and I am Ghanwa Mohiuddin. Today I don't come to you just as a journalist, but I come to you as a daughter of this soil, as a voice for the 240 million Pakistanis whose heart beat as one. As last night, in the cover of darkness, with malice and cowardice in their hearts, the Indian army had the audacity of attacking Pakistan's innocent civilians in Muzaffarabad, in Kotli, in Bagh, and they decimated our mosque and killed innocent civilians. But Pakistan did not remain idle. We gave them a swift response. We downed not one but 5 of their warplanes. We downed 3 Rafales, 1 MiG-29, 1 Su-30, and took down many of their checkposts and their multiple of their places that were important for them. We have made sure that India sustained multiple losses very quickly into this game, and we are going to discuss further what has been happening in the past one day. We have with us in our studios Hassan Gillani and Mahnoor Qureshi. Welcome to the studios.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure being there. Thank you.
Can we say that with the region teetering on the edge, what does India have to gain with this conflict in the region? What do they have to gain politically, and what do they have to gain economically from this conflict?
So I believe that whatever they are trying to gain, they are actually losing it. And in front of all, we have seen that in international media, in which they were projecting themselves as victim, but they couldn't. In their own media, they were projecting themselves as hero, but they couldn't. And have you seen the briefing after the second strike of Pakistan? Because we have the capability, and when we counter strike, have you observed that they were not taking any questions from the journalists? They were not able to answer them. Actually, inside the India, people are starting questioning their credibility. They are questioning why they are putting on stake the peace of the region, why they are obviously they are playing with the future of their own people. They are killing their own people. They are killing the minorities. They are killing Muslims there. They are killing Christians there, and even Sikhs are not safe. Not even in India, even in Canada, in US as well by them. So I believe that they have failed miserably in what they are trying to project, and they are not only failed miserably, but they are also droning the people who are trusting them, and the companies who are trusting them, in which they are signing the deals of their warplanes, but they couldn't deliver to their own people, and they couldn't deliver to the companies they promised to.
Speaking of the media, this is like a war of narratives that Pakistan had gained significant momentum in. We have gained significant mileage. As the international community, not a single country has come to the solidarity of India, but on the other side, Pakistan has garnered much support from the international community. So, are we winning this narrative?
Obviously, we are winning this narrative because we are on the side of truth. We are on the side of right. And the interesting thing about that is the major allies of India are supporting Pakistan in such situation, because they have already seen the atrocities of India in Kashmir and in other parts of India as well. And I believe that we are winning the war of narrative because we are not promoting any fake news. We are not promoting any fake news, any misinformation and disinformation. And according to the EU Disinfo Lab, back in 2020, it was mentioned that India has been using fake news, misinformation since last 15 years for narrative building against the Muslims, against their own people, and obviously in the favor of government. So that's how they want to promote greater Hindutva, and that's the strategy of Modi, but they have failed miserably. And I believe Pakistan has already won the war of narrative in Pakistan, even in Balochistan, where they are trying hard to promote proxies, where they are trying hard to make people rebel through their social media, through their radio channels that are in Balochi language. So I believe that Pakistan has won that because we have played our jobs really responsibly when we were in studio last night, and we have seen all such things that were happened yesterday. And we were not bashing anyone, we were not blaming anyone, rather we were just waiting.
Our media has played a very responsible role.
And that's the ethical journalism is that India doesn't know about, I believe.
Now, Hassan, to what extent is India's aggression towards Pakistan and Kashmir rooted in the Hindutva ideology?
Well, first, it has been nearly 24 hours since India launched its offensive against Pakistan and striking what they believe were terrorist targets in Pakistan, which turned out to be innocent civilians and, of course, civilian targets. We'll get into that in a while, but the last 24 hours have had a profound impact on the regional situation. The situation right now is under control apparently, but it is still grim, it is still volatile, and the clouds of tension have still not subsided from the region. What we are hearing now is that there is of course a lull in terms of the current offensive that was going on between the two countries, but that doesn't mean that the conflict is over. Tension is still prevailing. Indian side is of course sounding triumphant over what they have achieved, but what they have achieved is nothing but embarrassment and shame. Today we have had the meeting of the National Security Committee, which was very important in the current situation. The meeting was attended of course by the Army Chief and the Air Chief, Naval Chief, all the federal ministers, and was chaired by the Prime Minister. Now that meeting is very important because the outcome relates to the future strategy of Pakistan regarding India. We have been hearing and following that Pakistan is planning a very careful and a very measured and a very calculated response to what India has done. Of course, initially we have seen retaliation. We have achieved our target. We have downed 5 aircrafts. We have downed more than half a dozen quadcopters, the drones. We have struck important posts across the line of control. They were arrogant, they were stubborn, and all their arrogance across the border has now turned to ashes.
Yes, Hassan, you know, I just wanted to point out that the planes that we have downed are from the 4.5 generation plane. This is not a small feat. It says a lot about the Pakistan Army's capability. Like, what would you have to say about that?
Well, Rafale were the aircraft that have been downed. Out of the total 5, 3 were Rafale and 2 were from the Russian origin. This is something that India has been acting very arrogant about. They say that they had purchased these airplanes from France and from Russia, but it is not about the efficiency or the model or the power or the might of the weapons. It is about how you handle those weapons, the kind of commitment, the kind of resolve that is behind the use of those weapons. Pakistan has downed 5 aircrafts that were intruding into Pakistan's territory, and the result is there. We have seen that there was a refreshment of the memories of the late squadron leader M.M. Alam, as said by the Prime Minister. This is of course history, and you cannot distort history, but India is trying to distort history. And of course, if you look at their channels, they are saying that they have emerged triumphant. They are shamelessly claiming about gains that never were made. They say that they have been victorious, despite the fact that the entire world is now acknowledging that they have failed, miserably failed in countering Pakistan. It is the Indian media which itself is now accepting, as a matter of fact, conceding, sheepishly conceding the fact that 3 of their planes have been downed. We are claiming 5, they are saying 3. But even if a single plane has been downed, it is a reflection of India's of the fact that India is losing on the war front with Pakistan. The world has expressed its anguish, disappointment, and of course has criticized for what has gone wrong between Pakistan and India, but it was the world that could have probably prevented this from happening. So as the time rolls on, as the days roll on, we might see changes, radical changes, strategic changes from Pakistan. But of course, Pakistan is a country which would never spill the beans before time. We are of course planning a response, because if you look at the response from the DG ISPR, he says that the retaliation does not end here. We have given them a very tough response and paid them back in the same coin, but that does not mean that we are not going to avenge the losses of those civilians.
Their temporary joy will turn into their permanent loss, sorrow. Yes.
You have to keep in mind the fact that we have lost 26 precious lives. That's not a joke. 26 precious lives lost, 46 injured, 2 went missing, mosque desecrated, mosque destroyed, If you look at the press conference held by the DGISPR, he sounded visibly disturbed over the violation of the sanctity of the mosque in Pakistan. I don't know why. This Modi regime has a tendency of violating religious sanctity. Not just Modi regime, but all those hardliners. As a matter of fact, if you look at the history, we find the example of the desecration, the demolition of Babri Mosque. Then we see the desecration of the Golden Temple under the Operation Blue Star. That's history, of course. We cannot go into that details that much. But the fact remains that Pakistan has always maintained that we abide by all those conventions and those rules of war. Even we are fighting with the enemies, we make sure that we do not go beyond a certain line. If you look at today's operation, that was of course in retaliation to Indian aggression. We have not targeted a single civilian installation in India or in Kashmir. We haven't killed a single innocent civilian. On the contrary, we have seen that on our side, 26 civilians who were all innocent, unarmed, have been killed by India. They lost their lives. These include the toddlers, the children, the unarmed women, innocent people, the elderly people, 26 people. And I am sensing, Ghanwa, that Pakistan is not going to sit idle over what India has done. We have been inferring from the press conferences held by Pakistani leaders that Pakistan is going to make India pay by the nose for what it has done to Pakistan. The blood of these innocent civilians who died as a result of the Indian offenses will not go in vain.
Yes, Hassan, thank you. We have with us Sajid Tarar with us on a video link. Sajid, thank you for joining us. Sajid, can we heard a US president give a statement that this attack, this unprovoked illegal attack by India has been a shameful act. Can you shed some more light on that?
You know, the thing, this is what my analysis about it, why the world is not coming to this, behind India or behind anything, because they haven't given any solid proof that the Pakistan government or Pakistani are involved in it, first of all. Plus, Donald Trump has so much on his plate, is Gaza, Ukraine, and many other things are on his plate. And this is new thing that which America is not interested in. Plus, Donald Trump has expressed his frustration in the past that this is an old issue among these both countries, and he has offered arbitration during his Trump 1.0. So the thing is, America seems like they want to stay balanced in that region. They have expressed they have a relationship with both countries, but without having solid proofs, I think that India is not successful. They are not gaining any support from anywhere. United Nations is not supporting them. Antonio Guterres has been asking them about the proofs and everything, and dialogue and talking to each other. Many other countries they have rejected. European Union has rejected their case, and a lot of other countries, they are not giving them support right now. If you personally ask me, India is isolated, and plus at this time, my second question is this: that they have attacked Pakistan, but where are those people? Those have attacked India. They are still roaming around. They are not. Those culprits are not part of their hunt. They are going after the innocent people versus going after the real killers. So the thing is, right now, if you personally ask me, India's diplomatic efforts, they are not working, and their case is not strong, and the world has rejected their appeal.
Mr. Tarar, can we ask you, what is the general atmosphere like in the US Congress? How are the US congressmen, the US politicians, both from the Republican Party and the Democratic Party, reacting to this entire situation? Because the standoff has been continuing for the last 2 weeks now. So how is the overall atmosphere? Can you walk us through that?
The thing is they are trying their best. They are trying to lobby the congressmen and other lawmakers, but they are not buying their request, because again, they haven't come up with any proofs that Pakistanis are involved in it. Pakistani government is involved in it. So whatever they're trying to sell, the people are not buying. They are trying their best to lobby them, but somehow they are not gaining any momentum in Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is not interested in. Donald Trump has almost rejected that this is an old dispute between both countries. And if you are not willing to accept his arbitration, why should he worry about it? And plus, he has been asking them, Marco Rubio has been calling them to de-escalate the situation. But now the situation has become more serious after the attack on Pakistan. A lot of innocent people have lost their lives. So this is and word is matter. But Donald Trump seems like frustrated by this old-time issue. And when you are not willing to work with them, keep in your mind that according to my opinion, India was having a growing pains. They used to think, they used to believe that the world need them versus that they need the world. And right now, world has left them alone. So it seems like they're isolated.
Right. Now, you have been following international politics for a long time. You have been in US for decades. In the past also, India has gone whining to the US seeking their support against Pakistan. Has the response of the Trump administration or the US government overall any different this time as compared to the past?
Yes, the big difference that, matter of fact, Obama was very much in love with India. He has started a new relationship. He started calling them as a partners. Then the Biden, again, they were in love with them. But the thing is this, Donald Trump is kind of a statesman, kind of a politician who always tried to balance the things. Right now, the Pakistan and America both are having a partnership against the terrorism. Pakistan is a victim itself of the weaponry America has left in Afghanistan. And you probably remember that Donald Trump during the campaign, he has given a commitment that he wants to have those weapons back. And the TTP and the other terrorists, they are using the same weapons against Pakistan. So it's a new partnership in that region with America and Pakistan against terrorism. In the meantime, this situation happened, and India wants to have an open license to attack Pakistan without any proofs, and world is not with them, including Donald Trump. But the big difference is this, that Donald Trump wanted to give you a basic information. Republican parties, whenever the Republican president is in the White House, Pakistan always enjoy the best relationship. Reason, because the Donald Trump 1.0 doctrine was achieving peace through strength. It means the Pentagon strong, foreign policy strong, allies relationship strong. So the Pakistan-America relationship, they are old since 1947. You cannot neglect them. Pakistan's geographic location is very important, and Pakistan has worked with America since years and decades. So the matter of fact, Donald Trump valued them, and he has said many times that the Pakistan is a very strong ally, and matter of fact, he believes in it, and he has proven himself.
Sajid, we see that there are cracks in the Indian leadership and their armed forces. One is beating war drums and the other is waving white flags. Like, how does the international community view this? Would they have presented no evidence? They have created an escalation, and yet they have raised white flags over many of their checkposts so far.
You know, the thing is this, Indian forces, they were ill prepared. They were not prepared. And I give a credit to our army chief, the Hassan Munir. And matter of fact, many articles has been written. MI16 report has come up, New York Times article, that he's determined, he's not confused, he's a strong army leader, and he has proven the way they mobilize the army, the soldiers on the border, the way they gain all the missile system from China, and the way your Air Force has proven, it's remarkable. I give them the credit. They are the proven number one or number two in the region, the strong army. And the Indian, you probably have seen the frustration among them that they changed the corps commander from Kashmir, and then they change in the Air Force, and they refuse to fight. The reason, because they were asking them that we are not prepared to fight, and it has proven Rafale planes going down. And it is matter of fact, it's not the big damage to India, but the France France has lost big time. It seems like first time it happened, but the thing, nobody will be buying Rafale in the future. So the two countries are loser, not only in India, France itself at the same time.
Sajid, you have talked about the bilateral relationships between Pakistan and US, but given the current situation, how would you see that, how Trump administration would balance its strategic relationship with India while dealing with the concerns from Pakistan?
Marco Rubio is calling both countries almost on a daily basis, trying to trying to stay calm. I mean, so they are requesting it, they are talking about it, but the Chinese and Turkey's coming behind Pakistan. It's a big confidence booster in Pakistan's current regime. Matter of fact, so the thing is this: America is very careful because reason that both countries' atomic power and the Pakistan army is very well tested. Indian army here. I want to make the point. Pakistan army is prepared because they have been fighting against the terrorism since years. But India has never faced any kind of a serious conflict since years. So that is one of the reasons the Pakistan army is very well prepared. But the thing is this: that frankly speaking, I'm very much worried about it. I have been working with Donald Trump and Donald Trump administration, and Donald Trump is an anti-war president. He has proven himself. We still have a lot of things to deal with, like Gaza and Ukraine. I hope that these two atomic powers, they stay calm and they try to start a dialogue in between. But the thing is, India has to think twice what they have got into it now. Matter of fact, it's a very dangerous and very risky and sensitive situation right now.
Sajid, this has been a very unprovoked and illegal attack that India has started this escalation with. Can you tell us what does the international law say about this attack?
The Indians, they are trying to play smart because they have been trying to use the missile system versus sending their warplanes. And then again and again, you probably have seen, they have saying that we have killed the terrorist. But attacking the mosques, it is not proven. Plus, the thing is this: our information minister, Tarar Saab, has taken the international media, CNN, BBC, all of them to the Muridke and to Bahawalpur to show them where are the terrorist camps. So right now, the Pakistan is winning all the diplomatic fronts. On every single diplomatic front, you can see that. Not only this, in United Nations at the same time, United Nations Security Council, other day, matter of fact, they were not buying the Indian story, which is, I have been watching it. The Antonio Guterres, has given, been asking India to come up with the proofs or something which they were not able to provide. So right now, if you see that Pakistan is in a better position, in a better diplomatic position, and they have been winning because not only the international community, but the international media outlets like New York Post, Washington Post, they are not buying their stories at the same time because they are asking to come up with some strong proofs.
Okay, may I ask you a slightly hypothetical question, Mr. Tarar, that we all understand the situation right now is slightly volatile. The worst might not be over yet. In the event, if there is a larger conflict between Pakistan and India, do you, as a political observer, believe that the US is going to go a little beyond just expressing concern and expressing the desire for India and Pakistan to de-escalate and actually doing something substantial and tangible to stop the two countries from engaging into confrontation?
The American point of view, first of all, it would be that they cannot afford the third conflict after the Gaza and the Ukraine. But the worst come worst situation, if this thing prolongs, China will come strongly with Pakistan, and then that will put America in a very corner. So they won't have any choice except going behind India or pushing it to stop this conflict. So these are the only two options America has. Either they will try to control this thing before it openly widen up, or if the long thing happens and China comes up, ultimately the America has to no choice going after supporting India.
Yes, Sajid, please stay with us. We will take you right back. Mahnoor, I would like to ask you, we have seen some military exercises on both sides of the border, from Pakistani side and from the Indian side in the past week. But this escalation has shown which side's preparedness has been come with bearing fruit. So what do you have to say about the preparedness for the Pakistan military?
Actually, obviously, we have shown to the world that we were well prepared, but I believe that wars are fought through will, and we had the will, and we have already proven that to the world. And as we were talking about the Rafale and what we did to them, so basically India is not only embarrassing themselves, but the companies they were in contract with. And according to the high ranking French intelligence officer, he said that it's the first time in the history that any French made warplane has lost during a combat. So I believe that's a victory. That's a will.
It's a huge victory.
It's a huge victory, and it's the will of our, obviously.
It's not a small milestone for Pakistan.
Exactly,
yes.
it's a big milestone
setting
for Pakistan.
records after
And
records.
you have seen that the Rafale makers stock exchange rate is like fell by 1.7%, and JF Thunder 17's makers share in the market rose by 17.05%. That's a huge victory, and I believe the reason behind is not technology. It's about the will, it's about the preparedness, it's about the sharpness of our military, and we were well prepared, and we have already told them that any aggressive act on the water would be considered.
It's about strategy. We can say that Pakistani strategy has been successful so far, has it not?
It has been successful, and it will be successful as well in the future, because we are well prepared, and obviously we were well prepared for that, because we have already shown them and we have told them that any aggression on water, any breach on Indus Water Treaty would be considered as an act of war. If we are saying that, it means that we were well prepared for the war, and it's not like that we were sleeping and we were not well prepared. Even after the COVID attack of India, we told them that we'll decide the place, we'll decide the time, and within an hour we strike back. So that showed that we were well prepared.
A notch-up response, a swift, resolute and notch-up response.
Exactly. So we were well prepared for that, and we already knew that. As Hassan was telling that a day before, he was smelling some rats, and he was thinking that there would
something might go wrong.
Yeah, and we all know that India is, after a few months, they need to do such things, obviously, for getting some eyeballs, for their short-term goals, for their elections, for their support from the public. So they were on it since long, and they need it for their own people. But obviously, they cannot sell this narrative in their own state. So
and we are also hearing reports from across
Hassan, this is a nuclear flashpoint. What measures are in place so this escalation does not spiral out of control from both sides? What measures have we taken?
Well, Pakistan at its end has been always maintaining maximum restraint when it comes to confrontation or offensive against any country. Pakistan does not react unless and until Pakistan is provoked. This happened exactly in this particular case. For the last 2 weeks, we have been maintaining maximum restraint. Even now that we have launched an offensive as retaliation to Indian aggression, we still have maintained a certain amount of restraint. The response from Pakistani side does not reflect entire might of the Pakistan army. It is a very calculated, a very measured response in proportionate to what India did to us. Now just imagine if we had gone for the full scale might or the usage of those forces. We have been on a defensive
rather than offensive so far.
We have to of course defend ourselves, we have to defend our territorial integrity, we have to defend our sovereignty, but it does not mean that this is going to end here. Because if you look at the amount of loss that we have suffered, particularly the loss in terms of human lives, it is colossal. 26 lives lost is not a joke. Our mosque destructed is not a joke. The Jhelum Neelam hydropower project destructed is not a joke. So we have suffered tremendously as a result of this offensive, and we are going to make sure that India pays for what it has done.
Yes, you mentioned the hydro project. So the water resources have been attacked. They have gone, taken the Indus Water Treaty in abeyance. That is water terrorism, and that is like, what impact will that have on a country like Pakistan, which is climate vulnerable, which is an agricultural country? Like, that is an absolute declaration of war.
Absolutely. You know, I'm really glad that you brought this point up, because as per the Article 57 of the Geneva Convention, it clearly states that when there is a conflict, confrontation or a war between two countries, neither country can destroy or damage anything which is found to be indispensable for the survival of that particular community. India has launched an attack on the Jhelum Neelam hydropower project. The dams cannot be damaged, the water reservoirs cannot be damaged as per the Geneva Convention, and now India has blatantly, flagrantly violated that particular convention, Article 57 of the Geneva Convention. Now Pakistan stands qualified to drag India into International Court of Justice. India can be dragged into the War Crimes Tribunal. Now that of course is for the Pakistani government pardon, to collaborate the response and how the government actually reacts and exhausts all the legal actions to bring India to the court is for the government of Pakistan to decide, but we can only speculate that this does make Pakistan qualified to hold India accountable for acting in violation of the Geneva Convention. Article 57 clearly states that you cannot damage property of the civilians, you cannot harm infrastructure that is directly linked to the survival of humans. So this, I'm sure, is going to be adding to Pakistan's case when it comes to holding India accountable for all the international war crimes.
Hassan, we have also downed an Israeli-made drone, a recon drone of Heron from Israel. Can we say that there's a nexus forming between India and Israel?
Certainly, it is an open secret that Israel has been at the forefront when it comes to supporting India in all its nefarious designs. Reason being that the ideology of Modi and Netanyahu is the same, ethnic cleansing and making sure that in Israel Jews emerge as the most superior caste, superior community, superior segment, and on the Indian side we are seeing that India is constantly persecuting, subjugating the Muslims, the Christians, the Sikhs, and making sure that Hindu or Hindutva emerges as the most superior caste. So the ideology, the goal, the conspiracy is the same. So of course they are going hand in hand, but apparently we are seeing that in this particular case Israel might have covertly supported India, but not overtly. India stands completely isolated, although they are claiming that the world is on their side, but the fact remains that no important world capital has shown any tilt toward India. We are also seeing statements coming from Turkey, from other countries, holding India accountable for the war crimes. India is suffering humiliation, India is facing embarrassment, India is facing shame at the hands of the international community. All the important world capitals are expressing anguish, condemnation and shame. Even the US important world capital has said that it's a shame that India launched an attack against Pakistan, expressing the desire that the two countries would engage closely and de-escalate the situation. But India now stands isolated at the international front.
Yes, I would like to ask this question from Sajid. Sajid, are you with us?
I am with you. Yes.
Yes, in recent years, we see that there's been a trend of Islamophobic tropes in the international media. What responsibility, in your opinion, does the international media bear to dismantle these biases? Like when we see when Muslim blood is shed, the international media somehow does not respond the same way as it does for the other people.
You know that here after September 11th, it was a big, Islamophobia is a big issue, matter of fact, not only in Western countries, but in other part of the world at the same time. But I don't blame them. I blame myself and the Islamic countries. We have been not trying to express and tell them to see that all of our Muslims, we are, and Islam, I mean, the meaning of Islam is a peace, and we are peaceful people. All of the terrorists, you know, they always ask me the question, all the Muslims are not terrorists, but all the terrorists are Muslim, but this is wrong. I have been preaching in America. I have been telling my kids, the thing is this, we have to prove them that we are good Americans, we are good citizens, we are part of this main, it's American fabric. But the thing is this, I don't blame them, but it is the ball in our court. We are the second biggest religion on the planet. And look at that, where are leaderships? Do you see any other strong media outlet besides Al Jazeera, or there is no outlet we have in Pakistan? Imagine about it. There is no English channel. There is hardly any English newspaper. So the thing is this: how can we tell people what we believe? And we are peaceful people, and we are. But the thing is it is a big issue. It is a big issue in our communities. But I think it's making us stronger. But it's a big challenge. It's a big challenge. It is our kids, matter of fact, our next generations are facing it. Racial profiling, our names, our appearance, and everything. But it is making us stronger. I believe this is it's not the. I think it will not stop us growing, learning, and all of other things. it will make us stronger.
Sajid, how damaging is India's refusal to accept Pakistan's call for an investigation in terms of its global credibility and adherence to international law?
It is hurting their case. It is making their case more weaker, because so far in Washington D.C., I have every other discussion, every other debate, and every other seminar I attended. The very first questions they have been asking: where are the proofs? Here again in your program, I said they have attacked 9 places in Pakistan, but why they are not looking for the people those attacked in Kashmir? Why they are not going against the culprits? And that's the same question international community is asking them again and again, that you want to try a war with the whole country without any proofs. That is a big, very damaging to their case. And that's why the world is not standing behind India, and the international media even that have rejected their appeal.
Sajid, you are a president of Muslims of America, and we have seen that Indian army is blowing up the houses of Muslims in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. So what is the reaction coming from the Muslim community internationally, and especially from the Muslim community of America?
The Muslims community, matter of fact, they wanted to see a peace in that region, and they want to, Muslims of America, here they are worried about Muslims living in India. And we are always very careful whatever we say here, because it can hurt the Muslims living in India. And the matter of fact, Muslims of America is a bipartisan organization, and the fundamental objective of this organization is how to tell second generation how to integrate in this country, how to become better Americans, how we can appreciate American life, and how to tell them to take part in politics. These are fundamental objectives. But we are continuously worried about the Muslims living in India, Muslims living in that region. And right now, the Muslims of America is very much concerned what is going on in Kashmir and Pakistan. So the thing, I hope we are not in a long-term war. I hope we save the humanity with people from both sides. The wars you can start easily, but it's very difficult to finish them. So that's why we are keeping our fingers crossed, and we are praying for the whole region and human suffering.
Thank you so
Mr.
much
Tarar,
for joining us, Sajid. Thank you so much for joining us. Yes, we will be right back after a short break. Stay tuned to PTV World.